around and let's go home." But I didn't. There were tears in her eyes now, and I couldn't bear the sight of Mama's tears. The road narrowed to a single lane as we passed under a peeling wood sign. I had to squint to make out the letters: Mount Zion Missionary Poor Farm. Poor farm? I shot Caroline a panicked look, but she just kept on staring straight ahead, her green eyes fixed on the narrow swath of dirt road. Either she hadn't seen the sign, or she didn't know what it meant. But I knew. I knew money was tight, and had been for a while. We hadn't had milk in weeks, and more nights than not, dinner was nothing but cornbread and collards. But we'd been through rough patches before, and Mama always found a way. Sometimes, when she was between jobs, she would bring a man home from the Orchid Lounge. Sometimes he would even stay a few weeks. But there hadn't been any men for a while, or any jobs either. Up ahead, a big white farmhouse shimmered into view against the hot blue sky. Beyond the house was a small whitewashed chapel, and beyond that was a scatter of smaller houses and outbuildings, all crisscrossed with a maze of split rail fences. A handful of men milled about in overalls and dirty boots. A few looked up with dull eyes as the truck rattled up the circular drive and stopped in front of the house. I sat stock still while Mama climbed down out of the truck, then went around to drag the old suitcase out of the back. If I didn't move, if I didn't get out of the truck, maybe it would all go away. Or maybe if I said a prayer. But there was no time for prayers. Mama was coming around to the passenger side and opening the door. Caroline tumbled out obediently, Chessie dangling limply from the crook of her arm. I had no choice but to scoot across the sticky seat and follow my sister. Mama pointed to the suitcase and then to Caroline, charging me with the care of both while she went inside to see to things. I thought I caught a whiff of bourbon on her breath. Last night's, I remember hoping, though I didn't think so. I watched as Mama mounted the porch steps and disappeared through the screen door with a soft slap. I couldn't say for sure what things she was going to see to, but I had a pretty good idea. Poor farms were for people who couldn't feed themselves or their families, a place where grown-ups and children earned the food in their bellies and the roof over their heads by working in the fields. I had heard of such places and what folks said about the people who went to them, people willing to take a handout because they were too lazy or too dull-witted to find real work. We would be those people now. I eyed the old suitcase with a sick feeling, wondering how Mama had managed to pack 3 people's clothes into one small case. The thought filled my head with a low, dull buzz, like a swarm of irate bees, though I couldn't put my finger on why the thought kept nagging at me. It wasn't until I heard the screen door slap again and looked up into those guilty green eyes just like mine, that I realized Mama had left the truck running. Chapter 1. June 5th, 1995, Manhattan. Lily barely registered the sound of her own name being spoken, jumbled together with a lot of legalese. The lawyer was doing his thing, parceling out her father's worldly goods like door prizes at an Amway rally. Stocks, bonds, corporate holdings. She didn't care. Not about those things. She should have been there when he died. Instead, she had lingered in Paris, working out the details of her next strategic career move, a move that would land her at one of the hottest design houses in Milan. It didn't help that her mother had waited until the last possible moment to inform her that her father was seriously ill. Finalizing the details had taken only a day, but the delay had cost her dearly. She'd been so busy trying to make her father proud that she'd missed the chance to say goodbye. And now, 24 hours after landing...